I just got short 39.25, and the reason for getting short is pullback and a downtrend on the 500 tip bar chart. Blue professional bars coming into the highs here. Was actually kind of an icebreaker trade here. The low on this bar, on the professional bar, was 39, so this is kind of heading down to an end of trend here. Had two blue professional bars on the 4500 tip bar chart, but it's early in the session, so we're going to see that anyway a little bit. Exhaustion selling now down here, down at 37, but no blue professional bars kind of come in. Still holding shorts, moving really quickly today. Just a minute later, end of trends come up on the 500 tip bar chart with exhaustion selling and bullish divergence right down here. Not what I want. But we didn't have blue professional bars kind of come in here on the 500 or the 15. So testing all the way back to the entry. Hoping we'll kind of turn around here. We're still under the cyclical support on 15. So still a chance this could fall back into a downtrend. Had exhaustion selling down here. So just holding short right at the entry point as this turn kind of comes in, hopefully. 40.50. So for a 1.25 point loss. Damn it, I hope this thing's not going to turn around. We come into a Rambo pattern. That was me up here doing what the amateurs are doing, but we're kind of above cyclical support now on the 15. Looked like this thing was going to, support becomes resistance, kind of turn and go the other way, but it didn't. And just conscious that, in the after hours, pre-open, on the 1500 tip bar chart, we had end of trend, second cyclical turn after end of trend. Professionals kind of came back in. C could be coming back down. Amateur down bar here. Okay, I think we need to think about going long. Okay, blue professional bar on the 500s kind of come in. Tiny tick below. Now we need to break back up above the high of that bar, which no, we're not doing, so hell's bells. Should have just held it and done nothing. 39.75, and not a particularly good entry, but what I'm hoping is this will be a bullish divergence on the 1500 tip bar chart as we kind of roll around. Just playing backwards and forwards on this cyclical support on 15, but we're above support on the 45, so this could be that this level's just been caught. We kind of overshoot, get caught by the next highest time frame up. Not terribly convincing right now. Now it's just long 39.75. Spiked down all the way to 36.75, but when we did that, came into cyclical support here on the 500 tip bar chart, blue professional bar, bullish divergence comes in, and we're all the way back up. This thing's winging around like you wouldn't believe. So seemingly we've kind of tested the lows with a spike down and reacted from there. And the last time we saw professionals was here, and we're in this upswing on 45. Just look at time frame up. Yeah, we've got to make this end of trend on 40,500 tip bar chart, but let's just wait and see. Okay, unbelievable volatility. This thing is just moving around. Huge ranges. So testing back down to 37.75, another cyclical support on 500 seems to hold. Amateur down bars at this point here, both on the 500 and 15. So that's showing kind of amateur testing down. So if we break back up to 40, we should now, we've got cyclical resistance on the 15 and 500, and that'll be a break into a strong uptrend. But, no blue professional bars. Don't like all this winging around, just doesn't know which way to break right now. So we're just in this consolidation zone. You can see it on the 45, just incredibly tight, just waiting for a directional move. At 36.50, and finally gave up the ghost on that one. Just broke through cyclical support on the 500. Coming up to cyclical support on 15. Just can't tell whether this is just kind of testing or this is breaking down, in which case it'll run a while if we're breaking 4,500. So I was 3 1/4 loss on that last one. Painful. Let's wait and see. Got 37.25. Okay, now let's hope for a trend move. So we broke below cyclical support, came all the way back. Cyclical resistance was not kind of a pullback and a downtrend because we went this far. Blue professional bar on 15, so professionals kind of active here. That's the first blue professional bar really after the open, breaking the lows of that. And we're just playing with this cyclical support level here. We've only had one kind of bullish divergence here on 15, so let's look for this now. Got a 4.5 gap to make up, so let's see if this thing will go. These kind of patterns here right on the zero line, bullish and bearish, just means we're in absolute equilibrium here, just looking for a trend break, and I'm guessing it'll be down, hoping it's down, so short 37.25. Okay, just moved my target down to 30.25, just 'cause there's huge volatility right now. This thing just collapsed. Blue professional bars kind of came in though. Let's see if this is kind of falling through the ice or just a spike down. You'd have thought, I mean, we don't usually finish up with 500 tip bar chart, just a cyclical resistance here. You'd have thought we'd need to kind of form a pullback to end of trend. Amateur up bar coming back down to hopefully kind of keep going, and this is resistance. Support becomes resistance on 1500 tip bar chart, so come on, let's kind of keep breaking at the original target. And at 33.25, just hoping because this extra volatility will kind of get a little bit more. Here we go, kind of breaking below that. We have had kind of pro-signal exit here on 15, but no kind of bullish divergence kind of patterns here. A lot of amateur bars down at the bottom here right now on the retracing and the lows, rainbow patterns and so on, but come on, just need a little bit more. Okay, we often get patterns like this where you can see it's almost like a vertical line from the exhaustion pattern through the bullish divergence patterns, and this usually ends up with some kind of flush signal or kind of another kind of exhaustion signal on the downside. So this is what we're getting at the moment, this kind of breakdown here. Hopefully, come on. Okay, bullish divergence just came in. 25. Can't stand it any longer. Stupid me, should have got out at 33.25, but 34.25. Look at that. Huh. The reason why I was losing confidence is bullish divergence kind of came in, and we've had exhaustion selling blue professional bars down here on the 45. It's kind of a significant level on the 40,500 tip bar chart with an end of trend potentially coming in here, but I still think we're going to come down again. So maybe there's an opportunity to get short. Anyway, so recovered a little bit, so that was +3 on that one. Got 36.25, and the reason for doing that, we came into a cyclical resistance on the 1500 tip bar chart, rainbow patterns on the 500 tip bar chart, and all of a sudden blue professional bar kind of was almost like selling that short, just kind of testing the highs of that bar with the amateur bar, no demand. So let's kind of break back below the lows. So to play this swing down, like to see more kind of professional activity at the highs here. but don't think this is necessarily over because we've not seen a flush signal or bullish divergence on the 4500 tip bar chart. So here we go, heading back down to test the lows. So short from 36.25. What I've been doing was waiting for that end of trend. So we came into rainbow pattern down here, would pull back in an uptrend, went up, all the way back up, incredibly volatile, fast moving today to an end of trend up here at 38. And exhaustion buying, hopefully, we're not seeing blue professional bars kind of up here. Hopefully we'll get some kind of divergence pattern and kind of head back down. It's pretty weak buying on the 1500 tip bar chart, so I still think we've got to make some kind of flush signal on the 15 down here. So short from 36.25, looking like a very poor entry right now. A couple of minutes later, a whole bunch of blue professional bars coming on the 500 and 1500 tip bar chart, and support's coming on the 500. Now the lows of those blue professional bars have been broken, so now blue professional bar on 45 as we come to a cyclical turn. So my guess, this is actually kind of selling short, kind of falling through the ice. We're breaking below cyclical support on the 500 if we kind of turn around again, and this will be a trend move on the way down. Here we go, come on, break to 24s. Trend move on, so if we break into a trend move on the 500 on the way down, that'll be final kind of push down. Target's at 32.25, but if this starts to gather steam on the downside, we might get a big move. Actually 30 seconds later we just spiked up to 37, but it's amateur up bar, you can see that. We hit that, bearish divergence come in right on the zero line on the 500 tip bar chart. So completing that kind of exhaustion and bearish divergence pattern. And now hopefully that's kind of the spike up, little kind of final test, and we'll roll over, I hope. Here we go, just breaking down to 33s. I'm gonna try it again now and push my target out to 30.25. And I know blue professional bars have kind of come in, but we've got to make this sweep down on the 4500 tip bar chart. And we're below support on the 500 here. Low for the day was 32.25, so a couple of points below that might be nice just to pop some kind of stops kind of down there. So let's see if I can hold. Okay, the original target 32.25's been hit. Still trying for a little bit more. You're always going to get a little bit of a bounce around there, around the kind of previous low. I'm just hoping where we hit it again we'll run some stops and just kind of keep on going. Still holding short, waiting for 30.25. So all kinds of bounces happening around the previous low. First time we came into it, bounced 2 points, kind of broke below, got some bullish divergence, bounced back up, but we pulled back in a downtrend. Amateur up bar here, so, and no sign of blue professional bars. This little one here, but nothing yet on the 15. The last kind of pro signal exit was way back here. So just hoping for a final sweep down to end of trend on the 500 tip bar chart. Target still at 30.25. Bingo! Out 30.25 for 6. That's the best or the most I've held for a long time. End of trend, 500 tip bar chart, a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of came in. We've had our kind of exhaustion selling, bullish divergence. This will probably be a flush signal down here on 15. No blue professional bars kind of as yet, but that's fine, I'm happy. So pulled it back, so 6 for that last one, and that makes me up 4.5 for the day. Had 2 losers, 1 1/4 and 3 1/4 on the first 2 trades, and so I'm glad pulled it back from a lost drawdown of 4.5 to up 4.5, so that's good. Excellent. Going to watch it for a while. Cyclical turns, supports coming on the 4500 tip bar chart, and just looking again at this higher time frame on the 40,000. We're trying to find something here in terms of an end of trend, because you've got our pullback to end of trend kind of down here. Good. I've just been watching the market collapse again. Unbelievable. So this was out of my short trade, and we had a very sharp kind of short covering rally back up to about 36 up here, 37 resistance, and a whole series of cyclical resistance levels kind of came into play at this point here. On the 1500 tip bar chart we had this one, after exhaustion buying, bearish divergence patterns, and this little blue bar right there just showing us bang, that was the professionals active, getting short straight away. Market sold off. Next time we see blue professional bars kind of coming in is here, and there's our pro signal exit down here at kind of 27s, 28 maybe. And then on the 500 tip bar chart it was a beautiful little end of trend sequence here. So that's where I was out here, rallied all the way to an end of trend flush signal. Whole series of blue professional bars up here at the highs. You can see them, bang bang, bearish divergence right close to the zero line, flush signal, end of trend Rambo up here, bang, rolled over, came back up to test briefly, then we were away to the downside, and we're now kind of blue professional bars come in with exhaustion selling. We just had a pullback, we'll form an end of trend on this time frame. Unbelievable move. Wish I'd gotten some of that, but I was looking at it setting up, just thinking, no, I'm just going to sit on my 4.5. That was a 10-point drop. Unbelievable. And here we go. This will kind of be a possibly not an end of trend on 500. Looks like we're going to break the pullback level, but all of this kind of come into play at again at a cyclical low on the 4500 tip bar chart that's just come in here. Unreal. Yep, maybe it will form an end of trend with a flush signal kind of down here. No blue professional bars yet on the 4500 tip bar chart, so I still don't know what this is. It's going to be the low for the day, but there's that end of trend on the 40,500 tip bar chart. It kind of did come in kind of finally. So interesting times.